There are moments when emotions rise within us like a storm. Anger, fear, sadness. They surge unexpectedly, take over reason, and make us say things we don't mean, do things we'll later regret. And then we ask ourselves, why can't I control myself? In truth, emotions are not the enemy. They are signals, like warning lights on the dashboard of the mind, reminding us that something inside needs to be understood, needs to be heard. The problem is, we often rush to react instead of observe. We fight against emotions instead of learning to converse with them. The wise do not seek to eliminate emotions, but to move through them. Like fire, when feared, it burns. When understood, it warms and illuminates. In this video, we'll learn how to turn emotions into strength, observe without judgment, to clearly see what's happening within, analyze the cause, to understand why we feel this way, and transform through rational action, to turn raw emotion into radiant energy that nourishes wisdom and peace. If you've ever been tired of your own emotions, stay until the end, because perhaps what you need is not to run from emotions, but to learn to live with them in freedom. 1. Observe without judgment. In every moment, emotions arise like waves in the mind. Anger, fear, sadness, disappointment. Usually our first reaction is to resist them. I shouldn't feel this way. Why am I so weak? But that very judgment intensifies the emotion, trapping us in a cycle of guilt and unease. Instead, just observe. When anger arises, acknowledge it. This is anger. When fear appears, simply note, this is fear. When sadness covers you, tell yourself, this is sadness. There's no need to suppress or avoid. Naming an emotion doesn't make you weak. It gives you back control. Someone who practices emotional observation is like a sage standing atop a mountain, watching clouds drift by. He sees the cloud of anger, the rain of sorrow, the sunlight of hope, but neither clings to nor rejects them. He knows that everything is temporary. Emotions come and go like weather, while we are the vast sky that holds it all. When there is no judgment, the mind becomes still. We stop identifying ourselves with emotions. I am an angry person, or I am a fearful one. We simply recognize that emotion is occurring within us. That tiny distance between the observer and the emotion is the beginning of inner freedom. Remember, we cannot control the waves, but we can learn to surf them. Observation is not indifference. It is awareness. When we face emotions without labeling them as good or bad, they gradually dissolve, leaving behind clarity and calm. And in that moment, reason speaks, guiding us to act not out of emotion, but out of wisdom. 2. Analyze the cause. After observing emotions without judgment, the next step is to understand why they appear. When anger, fear, or sadness arises, pause and ask, why do I feel this way? The question seems simple, yet it opens a vital door, the door that leads from instinctive reaction to conscious awareness. Usually, negative emotions don't come from external events, but from how we interpret and expect them to be. A careless remark doesn't make us angry. We're angry because we expect others to understand, respect, or behave as we wish. We don't fear the uncertain future itself. We fear that what we want may not happen. Sadness, disappointment, and hurt are reflections of unmet expectations. When we realize this, we see that negative emotions are not enemies but signals pointing to where we're attached. They show us what we're clinging to, whose approval we're depending on for peace. Like a mirror, emotions reflect the unclear places within, where we still rely on circumstances, people, or outcomes. By tracing emotions to their roots, we begin to unravel layers of illusion. We realize the world has no duty to follow our desires. Others have the right to be themselves, and life has its own rhythm. Then anger fades, fear softens, and we feel the deep lightness of letting go. Analyzing causes isn't about blaming or excusing. It's about understanding ourselves. Each time we ask why, we move closer to wisdom and inner freedom. When the root is seen, emotion loses its grip, because in understanding, we are liberated. 3. Transform through rational action. Recognizing and analyzing emotions is only half the journey. If we stop there, we merely understand the wave, but haven't learned to steer it. The next vital step is to transform emotion into rational action. Action is the forge where raw emotion is melted and refined into inner strength. Emotion itself is not bad. Anger, when guided by reason, can become a force to correct injustice, improve situations, or set healthy boundaries. Instead of letting anger consume us, we can ask, what can I do to change this effectively and fairly? When anger turns into conscious action, it becomes a flame that lights the way, not one that destroys. Fear, when understood, is a natural warning that helps us prepare better. When we fear failure, instead of avoiding it, we can train our skills, strengthen our knowledge, and prepare thoroughly for challenges. Then fear becomes an ally, reminding us not to be careless on our journey. Sadness, when redirected, becomes the seed of compassion. When we hurt, we understand others' pain. When we share and help, we not only warm others, but also heal ourselves. Sadness turns into empathy, and through that, we grow in humanity. Every emotion carries powerful energy. The key is not to suppress it, but to guide it wisely. Rational action is the bridge between emotion and wisdom. When we act from clarity instead of impulse, we turn emotion into light, the light of awareness, strength, and deep inner peace. Finally, mastering emotions is not about suppressing what you feel, but about transforming that fire into light. When you can observe without judgment, understand without fear, and act with reason, you no longer live inside your emotions. You rise above them. That is inner strength, calm amid storms, steady amid chaos. If this message resonates with you, follow the channel and join me on the journey to explore wisdom, peace, and the power within. Because each week we'll dive deeper into the art of mastering the mind and building a peace that nothing can take away.